What's going on, guys? I'm Cliff Jantz, and I'm here to answer the question, is it any good? Uh, with this video, we're going to discuss the latest from the live-action remakes from Disney. This one is The Lion King, which is a live-action-ish remake. I say that because it's really just really super advanced animation um, of their 1994 animated classic. The plot of this movie is the exact same. In fact, it's almost a shot-for-shot remake of that movie. Young Cub is tricked into believing he is the reason his father died by his evil uncle. Evil uncle sends him off. Evil uncle becomes king, destroys his homeland. Young Cub needs to come back and save the day. Same plot, nothing new there. Now, this movie, before you get started, I just want to mention that I'm a huge fan of the 1994 animated movie. I think it's the best thing, in my opinion, that Disney has ever done. Everything from the animation itself to the songs by Elton John to the cast members playing their roles perfectly. It's just a great movie. It's a good story, told at a good pace. I love everything about that movie. In fact, even when I was younger, my first dog, I named him Simba. Just to give you an idea. So this movie was either going to really let me down or I was really going to enjoy it. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, it kind of let me down. It was, like there's just nothing new to it. This movie does have good parts to it, which I'll get into in a second. But for the most part, I'll just go ahead and get into the bad. The songs just don't have the same magical feel that they had in the animated movie. Like, the people singing it are very good, but it's just, when you're trying to set something in this realistic environment like they did, it's not, you're not able to portray the same magic that they were with the animated movie, like in, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. There's bright colors, animals are dancing around, and it's just really young Simba and Nala walking through and under other animals, trying to get away from Zazu. There's just not a lot of feel there. Hakuna Matata was probably the best part of this movie, song-wise. And, even that was kind of a letdown just because there's not, even that, when Simba gets older, he's not really dancing around like he was in the animated movie. So they weren't able to capture the same magic that they had in the animated movie. The biggest disappointment is Be Prepared. Like, every time you think that song's about to get going, it's really just Scar kind of talking with a little bit of melody in his voice, so it just never gets to where it was in the animated movie. And that was my favorite song in the animated movie, so that was actually a huge disappointment for me. Much like when they don't do Bare Necessities in the Jungle Book. Another bad part about this movie are the lines are just very expressionless. So, when they're talking, and you can hear the emphasis in the actors' voices, you can tell that their voice coming out of the creature is angry or sad or happy, but the expression on the lions doesn't show it. So it's kind of hard to really care about these characters when you just don't see them showing emotions. The only one that's really worked for is Scar, because he's a beat down lion, so it kind of shows his anger a little bit, but, for the most part, it's just showing these creatures with just moving mouths, and kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit. It just doesn't give you the same feel for these characters that you had for them with the animated movie. So, that was a huge disappointment, and so that kind of is the animation was just so good that they made it that realistic. So it's kind of one of those things, be careful what you wish for type of thing. But we'll get into the good. Really and truly, for me, the best thing about this movie is the animation, even though I kind of use it to criticize the lions' expressions and stuff. But there are times in this movie when you're looking at it and you're just like, am I watching a nature documentary that just happens to have animals that talk? Especially the beginning when they're going to Pride Rock for Simba's presentation. It's just the animation, whoever did it, is great. They deserve the Oscar this year. It's there. I think there's one scene that has that isn't CGI, but for everything else is CGI. They made this entire Pride Lands CGI, and that's just incredible. So like now when you go to a movie and they have bad CGI, it's like, why? We're at that level now. So they set the bar pretty high for that. The humor in this movie, I did find myself laughing at certain parts, mainly the hyenas and Timon and Pumbaa. So that we'll use that to go into the other good thing about this cast. I did enjoy the cast. I've seen behind the scenes of them providing their voices to these characters, and they're really into it. They're having fun doing it. So even though the animals, the characters in the movie are kind of expressionless, you know the actors are putting in the work, and they all do a really good job. The best of which are Billy Eichner, whatever, I don't know how to say his name, and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa. Just like they were in the original, they're going to be fan favorites in this one. They have good chemistry. They have good chemistry with Donald Glover as Simba. The next voice, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, he does good. He is able to kind of honor Jeremy Irons without replicating it or copying it. So he's very menacing as Scar, which I enjoyed and I was happy to see. The two actors playing young Simba and Nala, they have good chemistry, good banter. You know, it's just like they were in the animated movie, where they kind of are. They don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. They're just friends, but they're still flirting with each other. It worked very well. Donald Glover and Beyonce as young adult and as adult Simba and Nala, they do very well. But like I said, the expressionless on the lions kind of takes you out of some of the story between them. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight did not have the same effect that it had in 1994. Like I said, the hyenas were great. Keegan-Michael Peele and Eric Andre played two of the more comedic roles in the hyena group. Just kind of like Cheech Marin, and I don't know who played Ed in the 94 version. But Eric Andre is like the Ed character in this one, but they do give him lines, and I thought he was pretty funny, and they had good chemistry together. And then last but not least in the cast that I really enjoyed was Florence Kinsamba as the head hyena. She's like the Whoopi Goldberg character from the 94 movie, and she does good, but she's not really comedic like Whoopi Goldberg was. She's more of a leader of the hyenas, and that sets up a nice fight between her and Nala later on in the movie. In the end, while I did find this movie a little bit disappointing, I mean, it was number 2 on my anticipated movies list for the year. So I set the bar pretty high for what I was expecting with this movie, and it didn't quite get there. If you had told me a year ago that I was going to enjoy the Aladdin remake more than the Lion King remake, I would have called you an idiot, and now I'd be apologizing to you because you would have been right. I do think it's worth seeing it in theaters. The animation alone is something beautiful. It's incredible that they're able to do this, but you know, I own the 1994 copy, so when this one comes out on Blu-ray, I'm not going to feel the need to buy it. If it's on TV again, yeah, I'll watch it, but it's not one that I'm going to feel the need to pay to see again. But I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think I had it a little bit higher when I first got out of the theater, but it's one of those ones, the more I think about it, there's more that I just kind of that I didn't like about it. But that's my thoughts on this movie. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. And like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Cliff Chance. Is it any good? Thank you.